Welcome to Backyard Cigars. It isn't every day that you have a friend or that you know someone who personally rolls cigars, but not only rolls cigars, but actually blends the cigar, rolls it, and prepares everything other than the manufacturing of the leaf. And that's fine because he does go one step and he also prepares and designs the bands. And so today it's going to be sort of a blind taste testing in regards to me not being able to obtain the specs on the cigar. Other than it looks to be about a 5.5 by 48, something in the Corona size. Double Corona, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to say that I don't know what's in the cigar. Wrapper, binder, filler. That'll be revealed later. Now, it's not undisclosed on purpose. I just didn't get a hold of the specs. But I want to make true on my promise that I was going to smoke it this weekend. And so it's time. I'm just going to smoke it and see what it's like. We've already tried one. I've tried one of his that I reviewed. It's called a Panic. Decent cigar. I gotta give the man his credit. He's got a little pigtail there. He's fond of those pigtails. Cubans were too, as well. It was a thing. It was part of the culture. Little pigtail, curly head, and in Cuba, that could make a man feel nostalgic. I'm not saying that's this because I've been in Cuba and I've seen an old man get nostalgic. I'm only saying this because this is what Jose Orlando Padron quoted in an interview with Cigar Aficionado. So, if Padron says that, I'm gonna take him on his word. Now, if you watched the previous video on Jeff's cigars, my friend's name is Jeff. He's a friend, but he's also someone that is very serious about his tobacco, very serious about what he's doing, even if this is being done more on a hobby scale. I don't know if there are any other aspirations. Who knows? Whoever knows sometimes. But this is not an available cigar. This isn't something that is being sold on the market. It's not an active line, and it isn't being distributed. This is a hobby. This is a dedication to his hobby, to the love of cigars. And like I said, if you saw the first one, you'll see that he makes a very rustic looking cigar, but a cigar that has character. Okay, and he's getting a lot better as he goes along. I mean, he's been at it a few years, but he's known about tobacco a lot longer than that, and he's got the experience, so he knows more or less what he's doing. When he doesn't, he is also smart enough to seek advice of those who might know, and that's how you grow. That's how you develop. Very good draw. Nice coating of pepper with some, it's like a woodiness to it. Woody or nutty? I'm gonna say that the tobacco's probably a few years old. It's a little young, but it's not like young in a negative way. I'm just noting that it doesn't taste like it's very aged filler, 2 to 3 years maybe, but it's vibrant, it's zesty. I got a little bit of hint of citrus. I don't know if that was a one note, one hit wonder in that moment. I'll see when I go back to it. It's got a nice pepper, really nice pepper. But it's playing a game of hide and seek, this pepper. It'll go and then it'll come, and then it'll just, sometimes you find it in the puff, sometimes you don't. It kind of keeps you guessing. But when it doesn't give you the pepper, it gives you like a soft, cedary, earthy flavor. And it's soft, it's mild to medium. Again, it's the very beginning of the cigar. There's more to the cigar, and as I smoke it, we're gonna see if it develops and if it changes in flavor. I love the draw on this cigar, and the construction is spot on. If I had to say one thing, it'd be that it's packed a little soft towards the top, but that's something you find I normally find it in farm like rolls, right? Farmer's roll, like farm roll, or the rustic cigars like this. So I'm gonna take that as just going with the territory when I'm smoking rustic cigars like this. Sometimes it'll be a little soft at the top, but honestly, I'm okay with it as long as the draw is good, and the draw is fantastic here. It's got good pepper, good wood, good hay, hints of cedar. Yeah, this isn't green tobacco by any means. It's well picked. I'd say it makes a decent cigar here so far. I will say this to my friend: if he ever decided to release this on the market, is that he'd have to change the ban right from the get, because you're gonna get a cease and desist letter from Carlito Fuente Jr. But you know what? it's tongue in cheek here, but no, seriously, he will. But it's more about just the fact that this is a legit cigar. Like, my man, he dude rolled a legit cigar at home. Okay, blended it, went through the process of choosing his tobaccos, whatever vendor it may be, and once he got it, sort through that. And once you've sorted through that, well, then you've got to come up with the blend, and that could be developed quickly sometimes, or sometimes it can take quite a bit, and it really depends on the blender and the direction that they want to take the cigar. So when you're at home and you're not concerned about selling to the public, or putting it out on the market in limited distribution or anything like that, then you're more concerned with just kind of making a good cigar that you're going to enjoy, and so that becomes the primary goal. You're the number one customer. You're it. But you also want to make a cigar that you may feel that you can share with your friends and family, right? So if you like a really strong cigar, perhaps it might be wise, and I'm not talking about Jeff, I'm just saying in general, that you made something in between, so that if in case you wanted to share it with friends and family, there might be something that everyone might be able to take to. But you could also just roll yourself your own private select stock, 10 cigars, strong cigars, if that's what you like for yourself. But Jeff is finding a nice medium here. And I know that he likes full body cigars, but he's also the type of guy that doesn't want to be overwhelmed by his full bodied cigar. So you can find him on YouTube. You can find him. I'm sure he's on Facebook and Aromatix cigars. You're not gonna find cigars for sale, but you're gonna find a man who loves cigars and loves to share his love of cigars. It's smooth and peppery right now. I'm suspecting Nicaraguan tobacco here, but you know that can be a very easy guess because of the pepper. But there's good balance with the pepper and just the overall body of the cigar. It's not overwhelming. It's more medium full now, where it started off pretty mild medium, and it's worked its way up. In doses, it's delivered a little bit more pepper and amped up the flavor just a bit. Something that one can sometimes normally expect in second, third, but it's done so very nicely. No lie, if I could make something like this at home myself, even if I only got to do it once a month or twice, I would make myself a few boxes, actively smoke a box, and maybe even put some away for aging, maybe a year or two, just to see. Yeah, some pepper with a little mild bitterness on the finish. It's holding the ash very well. It hasn't changed too much from before, other than the little uptick in strength and body, and obviously you're getting a little bit more pepper, a little bit higher dose of that. But I really feel like it's kind of settled in and it's gotten comfortable, and at this point it's just going steady with the flavors that began to dominate in this second third, and have just kept themselves all in check. It's been good balance so far. Here and there I've gotten some coffee notes, roasted coffee notes. Right now on the finish, it's getting a little mild bitterness and some hay on the finish. Not the type of finish I normally like, but that just happened right now, and it only happened twice. So, we'll see. So I went and got some water, and that got the saliva flow going, and that helps when you get notes like this in a cigar. It's just something I've tried for myself for many years, and it's worked. Yeah, it's still the same. It's that, pepper, some woodiness, hints of cedar, pepper amped up just a bit, starting to take hold of the flavor and really zinging you. Another little danger with these cigars, with this particular Vitola, and a couple of our friends were talking about it on Earth the other day. You get these lanceros, or if you get a really good lancero, that is. But if you get a really nice Corona and you start enjoying the flavor, you really start wanting to puff on it a little bit more than you should, and if you don't watch out, very easily you can ruin the cigar. Very easily. Letting it overheat and just puffing on it way too much will really stir up that tar buildup, and you kill the cigar in its infancy, or at the very beginning of the experience. You are shutting it down, and it's happened to me quite a few times. Probably several years ago, maybe during the pandemic, I think it happened once. I was nervously enjoying a cigar, and it was so good, and I don't know, I spaced out or whatever, and then it just hit me, the bitter flavor, or a slightly, burnt flavor, and not something pleasing. And then I realized, oh, okay, I see what I did. you know I I got rid of it, just lit something else. But that can happen sometimes with these, especially the way this one started. It was very tempting to keep puffing it on it. It's got a decent aroma on it. Finish has improved greatly. Some nice coffee notes. Yeah. And you know what it took for me? Just letting it cool down a little bit. I didn't get to that point where I ruined it or anything like that, but it was starting to taste like that kind of cigar that was nice, smooth, good amount of pepper that you could just kind of enjoy and forget that you're smoking a Corona Vitola. You gotta be careful. Listen, folks, this is a good darn little cigar. It is. It experienced a little turbulence midway, but really righted the ship in terms of the direction that the blend took, and just how the flavors remained consistent for quite a while before evolving and doing what I think a good blender does, which is just try to make a satisfying stick. Obviously, as you get better at blending, as you get better at anything, you get more confidence, and you do things. But I think also the difference in someone blending at home and not worrying about putting the cigar on the market, distribution, and all of that, sales, is that you really get to just have the kind of fun where you can just go crazy with it. You're not worrying about anyone's palate. Not really. You're just concerned with your little experiments, with your likes and dislikes, and also being aware of what other people might like or not like, so that if in case you decide to do something where you want to share it. Like in this case, I think I do believe Jeff likes pepper. I don't know if he's a pepperhead, but this is right up there for someone who would like something. Who let's say you're a pepperhead and you like pepper, but you might want something a little less spicy one day, something a little less intense, something that's not going to overwhelm you, but that's going to give you that zest of pepper. Yeah, and definitely there's a drying effect in the finish, which happens with so many cigars, right? It's very simple to just bring yourself a bottle of water and just drink the bottle and you'll be fine. And you'll enjoy the cigar more. I've known folks who will smoke and they don't drink anything. Sometimes it's absent-minded, and other times it's they just don't want to drink anything. And I'm like, have a little water, something just to get you through, and like friends, and then later on they'll tell me, yeah, I didn't like that cigar. It got harsh, and my mouth got all dry, and I didn't enjoy it. And yeah, okay, you didn't enjoy it, but I think if you would have had a little water, you know, I'll say this to them, if you would have had a little water, you know, you could have helped yourself out. That's it. There were moments in the blend that I kind of sensed, or I got a feel of a youthful, vibrant tobacco. It's something perhaps a little young, but overall, I think the blend was pretty good. So on this one, I really enjoyed the pepper. I liked that it didn't, you know, hit me too hard, and I like how it fought to maintain a balance throughout the first and the second third, and it really did. It just, you can tell how at times it was, for me, I would take a puff and say, well, that may have tasted a little bitter towards the finish or whatever. Obviously, having the water helped, and then once I had the water, it just reinvigorated the palate, and that's what you want, so that you can give a fair review, whether they're a friend or someone that you don't know. You just have to say how it is, but you also have to do your best to make sure that the preparation was right and that something else isn't hampering the flavor. I just want to thank Jeff again for sending these out to me and only expecting a fair review and nothing more. Uh, he's the type of guy that likes to learn and take constructive criticism, because he really wants to get better. And I think that, yeah, this is a great start. And thank you all for watching. Until next time on Backyard Cigars.